Hello everybody, good afternoon and welcome to That's Football. This is your Burnley versus Liverpool watch-along this Sunday afternoon. The title holders, the league leaders, play Burnley at Turf Moor. Look, this would be a huge shock if Burnley could get anything here today. But I suppose the big shock is that there is no Alexander Isak. That was one of the reasons I was going to watch this game today, actually. I was looking forward to seeing, how he was going to fit in. I didn't necessarily think he would start, but he's not even in the squad. Arne Slot effectively saying it's about minutes. Probably hasn't had much of a pre-season. I know he went on international duty, but who's to say Arne Slot doesn't know what he's doing? He's just won a Premier League title in his first year in the Premier League. So a bit patience needed there, and they are looking at going for 4 wins from 4 as well, so probably be absolutely fine. Lots of people in the chat saying rest in peace Ricky in relation to Ricky Hatton, who we've heard this morning has sadly passed away. Shocking news for the world of sport in the UK. Very young. No suspicious circumstances, so 2 + 2 for many people is that this is potentially a mental health issue. Obviously he'd struggled with things like that, and it's very, very sad news because he was a terrific boxer and, obviously a personality away from that as well. If you're in the UK, you'll have seen him on many shows as well. So very, very sad news, and thoughts go out to his family and friends. And I think that, we're all fully aware in this community and the wider community that mental health is, a huge issue in society. And as I say many, many times, I don't know whether these things were happening 20, 30 years ago. I don't know. But we hear a lot about it. It's very, very sad. And I would just say that, in different ways, I think we all have depression and mental health. And it is so important, no matter how deep you feel that hole is, that you do talk to people, because it will help. And I just think it's really sad when you hear of these sort of things and witness these sort of things where people just don't think there's a way out. And I think that, you can't relate to that until you've been in that situation. And we're not here to judge or anything like that. But I do and am a firm believer that if you're ever in that situation, please just, pick up the phone, even if it's like a charity or to a friend, because it will help. Even though you think it won't, it will help, because there's so many people that want to help and they can't help if it's too late. So, yeah, very, very sad news. We are live for the Manchester Derby on the United Stand. Countdown to kickoff starts in about half an hour. I'll be live there at 4 o'clock, but we're here on That's Football for now, for Burnley against Liverpool. And look, let's have a quick look at the team news. I'll read it through for you. Dubravka is not in goal. Dubravka is in goal. Wrong there. Dubravka in goal for Burnley. Walker, Ekdal, Esteve, Hartman, Cullen, Okachukwu, Laurent, Chanu, Anthony and Foster. Obviously Kyle Walker plays for Burnley. And then Liverpool, Alisson, Szoboszlai at right back again, Konate, Van Dijk, Kirkez, Gravenberch, McAllister and Wirtz, Salah, Gakpo and Ekitike. That's a very, very good Liverpool side. I know there's still a little bit of bedding in. I know Szoboszlai is slightly out of position, but I do think that midfield three is arguably their best with Wirtz, Gravenberch and McAllister. And I think apart from Isak, you've still got a very, very good front three. I'm a big fan of Gakpo. Obviously, Salah's best player in the league. Ekitike's had a decent start. And, you would expect Liverpool now to, start to motor through the next 3 or 4 Premier League performances. They've got Everton next week at home. Then they follow that up with a trip to Crystal Palace. And then, I believe, it's Manchester United. No, Chelsea away just before the next international break. So, yeah, I think Liverpool are in a strong position. They're very much, a lot of people's favourites, even though I obviously went a little bit out of the box and said Arsenal this year, but I understand that Liverpool are the big favourites. Prediction, Mark. I will do a quick prediction poll, even though I think I know where this will go. I'm going to go Liverpool comfortable. Obviously, I watched Man United play Burnley just before the international break. We should have been 3 or 4-0 up at half time. We are crap in the midfield and we let them back in, and we needed a last-minute penalty, but that doesn't really give credit to Burnley because they didn't deserve any credit. Michael Oliver, the referee. Oh, good. Maybe Liverpool's chances have just been have taken a turn for the worst. No, I don't think Burnley are very good. I think they will be heading back down because I think it's ridiculously hard. I mean, we saw it yesterday, didn't we, with Leeds? I think it's ridiculously hard to stay in this league, and I would be, it would be the result of the season so far if Burnley could get even a draw here. I think the gap's too big. But, you know what? I would love to see it. I would love to see it. It would be great. But what do you think about the matches last night? Well, Robbie was too clear of me on win, lose or draw. And going into that West Ham Spurs game, he'd gone with the draw, I'd gone with a Spurs win. I was very confident Spurs would win that game, and they did. So that was not unexpected. As for Chelsea-Brentford, got to give credit to Brentford again for the second time this season. I mean, I look at that Brentford side, and I think, losing Thomas Frank is seismic. You've then got no Wizza, no Mbermo, no Norgard, no Fleckin, who is now at Leverkusen. So I think Brentford have done really, really well in this season so far, and they were worthy of a draw. I mean, Caicedo's goal was good. Chelsea should be winning games like that. I mean, what I would say about Chelsea, when you look at the league table, it's good, but is it a false situation when you think about dropping points to Palace at home, dropping points to Brentford away, very fortunate against Fulham. So if I was a Chelsea fan, I'd be happy where you are in the league, but I'd be looking at it and going, already, it's points are getting dropped. I mean, ultimately, that new signing, the Argentinian they've signed, some people say he looks like Pat Butcher in a Chelsea kit. I think that's a bit harsh. But the new signing that came on as a sub, didn't mark his man on the back post. And people were trying to claim that it was an assist for Caicedo. I'd rather, if you were a Chelsea fan, you'd be rather he was marking his man on the back post. But yeah, it was a good point for Brentford. It was the right result, but I think Chelsea, should be probably winning games like that if they want to. Well, I don't know what Chelsea want. I've put Chelsea in 4th, and I think that would be a good season for them. And it's almost a free hit for Chelsea, I think. Club World Cup was great for them. They're in the Champions League, which is a nice adventure with Bayern Munich on Wednesday. We'll be covering that. And then, the big thing is just to make sure they get Champions League football again, which I'm very confident that they will. I don't see them as a league title. No, really. Jarbar Drink says, rest in peace, Ricky Hatton, legend. Yes, yeah, very, very sad news. We were talking about that a few minutes ago. Very, very sad. And, it's there's not a lot you can say. Danny's laughing about Pat Butcher in a Chelsea kit. I can't claim that, by the way. It's a quite a common thing on X at the moment. What's for tea today? Well, I won't be eating it, Monkey, until about 7 o'clock, because straight after this I'm going into the Manchester Derby, which I'm very excited about. And I'm very grateful that we've got Liverpool Burnley here, because I'm just sort of sat twiddling my toes here. I was Seb kicked off at 10 o'clock today, so really enjoyed that. It's very autumnal in the UK today, almost like put your heating on. I mean, I've got a bloody woolly jumper on it. Well, it's not quite wool, but I wouldn't have been wearing this 2 weeks ago. I'd have been boiling. I'd have been hotter than a dragon's fart. But here I am actually feeling, I feel a little bit under the weather as well. I've sort of like been bordering on man flu, which shout out to the cold and flu tablets you can get. They're sort of keeping it on the edge. But here we go. We're up and running. And I've missed the timer there. But yeah, I'm sort of, can't wait for the Manchester derby, really. So I'm glad to have this for a couple of hours just to fill the time. Harvey says mega. Love. Thank you very much. Robbo96 says freedom, and it's conceding a last-minute draw to Brentford. 8 o'clock show tonight, says Cobby. We'll see how the result goes, really. I mean, I'm hoping to, on this channel, drop my Sack Pep video, which I recorded on Thursday night, ready to go. It's there, scheduled. But obviously, United need to win first. So we'll see how the day goes. Yeah. Yeah, Seb's team did very well. It was a cup game, second game of the season. They won their first game 9-2, and then they won the cup game 10-2. So, I mean, we're not reading anything into it. Take it game by game, but they look like a half decent team this year. Literally scored from the kickoff again as well. Seb went through the midfield, passed it out to Remy on the wing, put a great cross in. Seb controlled it, scored, and they were up 1-0 up within the first 10 seconds again, and then went on and won 10-2. But there's some good teams in this area. So they've always been a team that can beat anybody and lose to anybody. I mean, they played Solihull Moors Academy in the semi-final last year, and they got absolutely battered, like 7-2. So smart business from Liverpool. No English players in the starting 11, says Maz. Yeah, but you won't hear anything about that because it's not Man United. It's like when Wenger did it. No one really said anything about it. I mean, Liverpool not having any English players in their starting lineup, I don't know whether Liverpool fans even give a shit, really. But where are any in there? Yeah, you've got that Rio kid, and that's it. Conor Bradley's Northern Irish, isn't he? But I don't think people really care anymore. Carragher on a Liverpool game again. Liverpool says, LFC rookie says we couldn't give a shit. Look, personally, I think every British club should have 3 or 4 British players in their, first team squad. But I must admit, myself, I don't really lose any sleep about it. Cobby says, Melbeck if we win today, Mark. I will have a glass of Melbeck this evening if we win. Although I'm not feeling 100%. I don't know whether it's man flu, though. I felt fine this morning, got back, made myself a cup of tea, because it's very autumnal, like I say. And then I had like 3 or 4 pecans, and then I felt really bad again. And I thought, I wonder if it's pecans, like giving me a bit of an allergy reaction. Burnley with a bit of a breakaway here. Remember Liverpool? Oh, it's a shit ball, that is. I will call it out. That's a crap pass under no pressure from the Burnley number 11, who I will now call Anthony. That was really crap, that. Flight 23 says, what are your thoughts on Schmeichel saying he's never heard of Le Mans and would have rather gone for Martinez? Well, I think the never heard of Le Mans thing is a bit offensive. He doesn't need to say that, but I agree with him about going for Martinez. Martinez would have been starting this game. Le Mans won't start, it will be Binder. So, of course, I would rather have Martinez because he's better than Binder. And I think that's the way, football's not as simple as going, Le Mans is going to cook. Like, the reality is, if Man United had signed Emi Martinez, he'd have been in goal for the Manchester derby. It's going to be Binder. So, of course, I would have rather signed Martinez. And maybe Le Mans will be a brilliant player in the future. Gakpo shoots just high, wide and handsome there. The thing scaring me for today are corners, says Vance. Yeah, 100%. 100%. Thanks for your early super chats, by the way. I think I've caught up on them. Happy for Hoyland scoring the other day, says Fraser. It was a good goal as well. Good goal. We will be doing Napoli against Man City on Thursday night as well in the Champions League. Also Newcastle, Barcelona. I think Yamal's out, isn't he? I saw that Yamal is out. I think he's got a minor hernia or something like that. Where are the stats, Mark? I don't have them today because United Stand's going to be using that. So we can only use it on one channel at a time. Therefore, I can't use them. Joy says Yamal was given painkillers and forced to play, which is disgusting. Well, we're always going to get injuries, aren't we? We ask these players to play a lot of football, and you are going to get injuries. Not a bad start by Burnley here. I like that as well. You know, centre-back for Burnley gets it there and just pings it to the halfway line. I don't mind that. I mean, Liverpool have won it back instantly, to be fair. But, you know, sometimes you just got to get rid of the ball. Don't start playing out from the back in the first 5 minutes, because Liverpool will love that. They're one of the, you know, best pressing teams in the world. McAllister into Salah. What do I think about the Liverpool kit? It reminds me of... It's not uncommon for Liverpool to have a green away kit. I remember that. Remember the 3 stripes? We're talking probably... What year was that? Early 90s? 92? They had a green kit like that then. A darker green, actually. Mark, you got it wrong about Madueke. He's doing good at Arsenal, says Shark. Oh, go on then, have a shot, Burnley. Oh, over the bar. Was that Anthony again? It was. What's that? What's that? Smoke alarm. She's cooking again. I'm not saying the wife's a bad cook, by the way. It's not my wife. It's the bloody teenager. Always setting off the... God, I'll get in trouble for that. I won't be getting any tea. Yeah, good chance there for Burnley. Gives them a little bit of confidence. Ben says, Burnley are going to be so boring. Bloody Burnley. I'm just glad we beat them and got them out of the way. The memes are gone for a few months. There's Scott Parker. Always well dressed. I'm in the park with a speaker blasting Goldbridge, says ALFP. FPL. I hope you're not noncing in a park, because I don't want my voice associated with anything you're doing in a park. But then again, it might be sunny and you might just be sunbathing. Thoughts on Ekitike? Wasn't sure when we signed him, says Moodley. I think he's started off well, mate, really. I mean, you know, a lot of people were like, why have you bought him? But I think he'll be able to play in numerous different positions for you as well. And you definitely need 2 strikers. I mean, I just think in the modern game that, you know, you get these people saying, oh, why have they bought Isaac? What's that going to mean for Ekitike? And you're like, you're playing 2 games a week. Look at what Arsenal did with Declan Rice yesterday. You look at PSG last year, and they've basically won the French league by Christmas. So they can focus on the Champions League and rest players and rotate. Bayern Munich might be able to do that as well this year. So the big thing that stops English clubs winning the Champions League, and it's very obvious and it's not controversial, is they get absolutely exhausted by the intensity of the Premier League, because every game is competitive. Like, even, you know, you play Burnley, Bournemouth, you're going to know about it. So from a Liverpool and Arsenal point of view, well, from a Liverpool point of view, if you've got Ekitike and Isak, well, you can play them in the same team anyway. But you could also rest one and focus, you know, fitness and energy levels across 2 major tournaments. Do you think it is easier for a young attacker to get into the team over other positions? Says who to blame. What young attacker and what team? Isak's not in the squad, Kian, because he's apparently it's minutes. Did you watch Southampton Portsmouth, mate? Says biggest ball knowledge. No. No, I didn't. Let's have a look. 0-0. Sounds like a cracker. I'm joking. It doesn't sound like a cracker. Rangers lost to Hearts. Have they sacked him yet? I mean, I don't want to sound like excited about it, but I know a few Rangers fans, and you know, I know a few Celtic fans as well, and they don't want him sacked, and a few Rangers do. Ryan Taylor says, this should be an easy win for Burnley. They're only playing against Alisson. Rest of the team hasn't turned up. I was talking about the kit, I think. Fair point. Corner here to Liverpool. It's a good corner. Oh, keeper's nowhere near that. Dubravka. He's like a bloody kid hiding here. Dubravka, look at this. He's nowhere near it, is he? Oh my God, he's absolutely out of it. Look at where the keeper is there. Terrible. You've just got to grab Salah and throw him away. Hi Mark, hope to see Rio later on. Man United versus Man United should be good game too. Is your kitchen finished? No, Becky, it's not. It's not. I don't want to make this kitchen sound like it's the longest kitchen rebuild in the world, because there's a big reason for it. It's got underfloor heating, and you can't lay the tiles on top of fresh underfloor heating screed because it only dries a millimetre a day. So there's actually nothing going on at the moment. It's just waiting for the concrete to dry for a few weeks. What team surprised you the most so far this season, says Liam? Easy. Aston Villa, how bad they are. No goals in 4 games is shocking. And Bournemouth, how good they are. Considering, you know, Kirkes and the like that have left, I think they've been brilliant, which is just another indicator of how good their coach is. So, yeah, they'd be the 2 for me. I don't know about everybody else. So J.K. Worthing says, what's your irrational hate in football? Mine is low socks and small shin pads. Don't know why, just boils the blood. Referees. Well, no, that is rational. It's not irrational. You could probably tell me some of my irrational hates in football. You know what? It is to do with officiating, and we saw it yesterday in the Newcastle Wolves game. You know, we're into stoppage time. Bruno Guimaraes has got the ball in the corner, and he's got his back to the player. The Wolves player runs over to try and get it, barely touches him. He falls over, and the referee gives the free kick. I just want referees to realise that, you know, basic physics would tell you that a player does not fall over from a slight touch behind, and that you're actually just giving them a free kick for nothing. And that's not nothing to do with Newcastle. Man United might do it today. I just cannot stand that free kick in the corner where a player's got it, another player tries to come and get it, slight touch, fall over, and the referee gives a free kick. It annoys me. Tell me yours. DJ Starboy says, do you see any possibility of United winning? 100%, mate. Another corner for Liverpool here. Another good corner. Dubravka is absolutely shit on corners. We know that for a start. Why is he not catching that as well? Oh, God. Put him in goal for Man United. He'd be perfect. Crap on corners, and even when he should catch it, he punches it. God. Burnley. Look at this. He's rubbish. Why does he not catch this? It's an easy catch. Danana, someone said in the chat. Andy says, can you see Sunderland staying up this year? What they got? 2 wins at home and a draw away. I mean, you need to... Look, if they keep winning at home, I think they've got a good chance. First step is to get 30 points as soon as possible. They've got 7. So by Christmas, you'd be looking at maybe 25, 20, 25. So that's they've got to break it down. If I was a manager of a relegation favourite, I'd be like, right. Ooh, we did catch him there a little bit. Yellow card on McAllister. Chukwuku. Ugo Chukwuku. Sorry, I can't. Well, we haven't seen a replay here. I think it's is it Alexi McAllister? I mean, they might review this for a red. The game's over if he gives a red here. They might look at this. It's going to ruin the game, though. Sunderland have got Villa and Forest back-to-back, so who to blame? It's a bad tackle. Checked and cleared. I think we need to see this tackle again because, you know what? We see them. This is the inconsistency again, isn't it? It's. I don't want the red card because it will ruin the game. But let's run a poll on it. They really should be showing us this. 70% have gone with the Liverpool win, by the way. 19% with the Burnley win and 11% with a draw. Let me just set this up here. Was it a red? Should it have been a red? I mean, ultimately, when I'm looking at whether it's a red card, I'm looking at if McAllister has to go off, then, you know, that has an impact. But realistically, you can also end up injured for something that's not a foul. So they're not showing us the fucking replay, are they, again? He looks like he'll be all right. That's the main thing. Sunderland got Villa and Forest back. It's about. I see a corner coming if it stays like this, says Vanch. Turn the underflooring heating on and it will dry faster. That's exactly what you do, Fartsmell, yeah. Anthony Taylor is the match referee for the Man United game, says Jeffrey. Shouldn't be anywhere near a Man United game. Shouldn't be anywhere near a football game. Andy Hart says, rest in peace, Ricky Hatton. Lovely message there. Sheffield United could be getting Wilder back, says Liam Vernon. They're on a terrible run. And Dave the Brave says, I can't understand United's obsession with easing foreign players in slowly. Voltemeda and Ekitike straight in and scoring boggles my mind. Also, Gyökeres, Dave. United, I think this transcends the manager. I think there is a fitness department that is very risk averse. And they just don't, I don't know. What teams... I've done that one, Liam, thank you. McAllister still working through this. 58% of you said it should have been a red. I've only seen it twice, and one of them was in real time, so I don't know. Well, I've just tweeted this. I don't want to see a red card, but it's hilarious how few replays we're being shown of it. Clearly protecting refs again by not giving the paying customer the opportunity to make their own mind up. I mean, I think it's shocking again. You know, you talk about my pet hates. I hate it when I'm a paying customer, paying a lot of money at a time where prices are going up for bloody everything. I mean, I was in Sainsbury's the other day. It was £6.50 for a packet of mints. And I'm not talking about polos, I'm talking about beef mince. I mean, I remember when it used to be half that price. So I'm paying a lot of money for this, and I don't get to watch a key part of the game and make my own bloody mind up. And you know why they do it? Favours. because they'll be going, it's controversial. Let's not cause any pile-on of the referee. So we don't actually get to see it. And I'm going to have to rewind. I think there was one replay of it. Yeah, I think they showed one replay. Right, I'm going to have a look at it here. Here it is. Easily could have been a red when you watch it back. Just looking at it again. It's an orange for me. I'm sorry I've got to do this because you're not able to see it, but I think it's probably an orange to me. He gets the ball with his studs, but is he off the ground? No, his back foot's still on the ground. I mean, the fact that I'm looking at this so many times, I think they've got it right. Yeah, I'm happy that's not a red. For me, that's not a red. But you know, it's a bloody shame. I have to go back and replay it. My rule of thumb is if you take, you know, if you're going to take 4 or 5 replays, you really shouldn't be given the red. Kirkez has just got a yellow card for diving as well. But there's no such thing as an orange, Stephen. What I'm saying is, when I say orange, I've seen them given. And clearly we've just seen them not given. Sanity says, purposely avoiding replays now. Wow, world's best league with world's worst referees. But the thing is, I've just been back and looked at it, and I'm sure some of you have. I watched it 4 times just then. And it's not a red for me because I'm looking at it going, bad tackle. Let me have another look. Yeah, bad tackle. Let me have a look at where his other leg is. Yeah, does he get the ball? You know, I'm looking too many times and I'm re-refereeing the game. Therefore, I stick with the on-field decision. If the referee on the pitch had given the red card and I'm reviewing it, I'd have to stick with the red. So I don't think it's a red, to be fair, but I don't know why they're not showing us replays. I saw Michael Oliver at the Newcastle game yesterday. Great guy, good ref, says Grims. They know they got it wrong, so they don't show us the replays, says Inga. Vicky, yes, we've spoken about Ricky Hatton. Very sad there. 57% of you say it was a red card. 43% saying no. Thank you very much for your votes in that one. 14,000 watching as well. Thank you very much. Don't forget, we will have... we'll be live for the Manchester Derby after this. Still 0-0 here, though. I mean, the big story is that Burnley have got through the first 20 minutes without really having any problems. I suppose one thing you might be a little bit tentative about as a Liverpool fan is that it's the international break and some teams have looked a little bit off it. Good interception there, but well won back by Gravenberch. Here's Wirtz. I fancy Wirtz to score today, actually. Gakpo. Strong by Konate, and there's Van Dijk. Lovely bit of play by Gravenberch there. He's had a good couple of minutes there, good tackling and a good bit of skill. David Hogan captained Isak in his FPL. I mean, I'm not doing it this year, but I wouldn't have done that. Too much of a risk. I don't think... I never thought he was going to start. I thought he would be bench anyway, but... From what I remember, I think Isak does pick up injuries quite frequently as well, doesn't he? So you don't want to be rushing a player that hasn't had pre-season. Burnley very well organised, says Michael Keating. Why is Gehi not starting, says Harry. Rage bait. That's bait. Kenny has triple captained Haaland this week. No comment. You know, I don't do any of that ahead of a game like this. We know that you can keep. We know that you can keep Haaland quiet, but we also know what he's capable of as well. Interested to see what happens with Canate. Wins a free kick here, but it'll be very interesting to see what happens with him. And you know, are you signing the new contract or not? I don't think you can just be running it down. Burnley doing all right, yeah. Oh yeah, I'm not talking about that. Yeah, I don't want to talk about that. Fred says you stole a point from Robbie on win, lose or draw, Forest week 2. No, I didn't, Fred. No, I didn't. Everything has been done properly. What do you think about Rasmus? That gets double checked. We've got verification on it. Stop trying to be a rage baiter. I shouldn't have even read it. What do you think about Rasmus scoring for Napoli, says Al? Very good. Look, the Italian league isn't the Premier League for a start. It's a slightly slower league, but obviously, you know, I think there was mitigating circumstances why things didn't work out, and you know, I want Rashford to do well at Barca, so yeah, hope he does well. Do you like this Liverpool shirt colour, says Zana? I don't think I'd ever be in a position where I'd be massively pro any Liverpool kit anyway because of the badge on it, but it's not unusual for me to see a Liverpool green kit. As I said, I've seen it before. Hi Mark, did you see social media try to play it off that Garnacho made the assist for the second goal? The agenda against United is incredible. Cheers from Canada. Yes, I did, Nath. That's why I thought it was hilarious that he made the mistake on the equaliser, because he definitely made the mistake on the equaliser, whereas it definitely wasn't an assist. So I thought it was hilarious because they were absolutely going mad, weren't they? You know, Caicedo scores a worldie, and you've got Chelsea fans playing that down to go, great work by Garnacho though. Without the cross, it never happens. And you're like, without the cross that doesn't go to a Chelsea player and gets mis-cleared by a Brentford player. So Caicedo scores a worldie, but let's give Garnacho the credit for putting in a crap cross. Yeah. Anyway, it's definitely at fault for the equaliser. But look, we've got Chelsea next week, so I've seen the movie before. You can see what might happen. So I'll zip it for now. Beef Mince Goldbridge, says Aidan. I just watched the Icon match defenders versus attackers in Seoul. Was great to see Wazza, Carrick, Rooney, Vidic and Schweinsteiger, says Taco. Got no idea what you're talking about, but I'm glad you enjoyed it. Having said that, I did see a picture of them all together in Seoul. So, Burnley with a bit of a breakaway here. 2v2 up against Van Dijk. Liverpool, look at how Liverpool have got the numbers back. Good defending by Van Dijk and a goal kick. How's that not a corner? What's he? It's a corner. I think, unless he gave a foul. Story time says, are you nervous for the derby and thoughts on Spurs? You know what? I love this time of year. I just love autumn, and it's very autumnal in the UK today, which I've said 3 times. 15 degrees, overcast, bit chilly, and you know, football back. So suppose lie over the bar. I think if I didn't have this game and you lot, I probably would be getting nervous. But because I have that, I'm feeling okay. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it, actually. You know what? I'm looking forward to it. We're not the team we used to be, Man United. We're very hard to define. So in some ways, you approach each game with an open mind. Obviously, I want to win, but I also know that we're our own biggest enemy. So I'll tell you in the first 10 minutes how that game's going to go, because I can tell when the players have turned up and I can tell when they haven't. So I'm not nervous. Ahmed says, wow, Arsenal are so boring. Oh, wait, it's Liverpool. What do you think about Rasmus scoring? Done that one from Al. Sebastian says, Kasper Wirtz. Remind me, I need to change those kits that's left from the Bundesliga. I've just seen them behind me and I thought, you know what? It's Man United, and you know, it might just be it might be the reason that we win, because I changed the kits from Bundesliga to United. Isak's just not involved because he's been rested. Not arrested. Yeah, Isak's not playing because he's been arrested. No, let's not go there. He's been rested. There is no A in it. Another corner here for Liverpool. Dubravka's looked shit on them. Oh, they're not going to whip it in. They've gone short. McAllister, good defending. 32 minutes. What do you think about Wirtz? Look, I'd love to say he's a flop and he's a load of shit and he's overpriced, but I'd be a complete hypocrite because I just don't understand why we don't give the logical time to players that had only just got here from different leagues. Like, I just don't... Lovely feet by Gakpo. I just don't think that you can even judge a player until season 2 anyway. It's like a Netflix drama, you know. Season 2. I wasn't convinced about Breaking Bad in season 1. I don't think that's a foul either. Kirke's on a yellow card as well. No, he's not going to do anything about it. Sachs says, any Grimsby fans in the chat? Well, you should say any cheats in the chat, because you shouldn't even be in the bloody Carabao Cup cheating, playing players that weren't even registered in time. Dance1211 says, I was at the Everton Villa game yesterday. The stadium is legit, one of the best in the country. Also, it had the worst ref performance I've ever seen. Is Michael, if Michael Oliver's a Newcastle fan, Liverpool, I'd be very worried. I'll tell you what, I bet they do lovely fish and chips at Grimsby on coast. That's a goal kick, yeah. No, the reason Grimsby beat us is because we played that Pratt in goal, Pratt man. He might be playing in goal today. Fenerbahce, isn't Trabzonspor playing Fenerbahce and they want him in goal? Nerja says, I'm not very happy with the Liverpool so far. How many times have they been a second half team though with slots? I mean, they'll find a way. It's way too early in this game to be worried about Liverpool yet. They'll find a way. You know, they're not going to... Haven't they scored in every game for about 10 years as well? Good defending there by Kyle Walker. Goes for a corner. Elon says, expecting to beat City while losing to Grimsby. It doesn't work like that though, mate, does it? That's not how football works. Did you watch Inter Juve yesterday? Brilliant match. I didn't, Nath. A few people were telling me to watch it, but I actually went out for a meal last night. I didn't cook the steak, so I wouldn't have been able to watch it anyway. What did you think of Voltemeda, says Eshen? Very good goal. Apart from that, I think he looked a bit rusty, which you would expect, but a little bit like Gyökeres, isn't it? It's get them in the team, get them scoring goals early, and the confidence and fitness will grow. Thank you very much for your super chat, Nath. Nice switch of the play. Never going to control that, though. Do you think Šeško will start today, says Chris? I'm going to be relaxed about the United team because I'm so fed up of seeing the team line up, come out, and people losing their shit. I just think, let's see what happens. It's away to Man City. You might try something a little bit different, but I hope Šeško does start. There's going to be a substitution here for Liverpool, and it's Andy Robertson. So I'm wondering if Kerkez is going to come off because he's on a yellow card and he's having a bit of a rough game. Might be a tactical thing. Do you rate the Manchester versus Leeds derby, Mark? No. Simplified Hunter. I think it's a bigger game for Leeds than it is for us. What's your opinion on Grealish so far at Everton, says Harley? Refreshing, you know. I think at Villa he was one of my favourite players in the Premier League. Then he went to Man City and became one of my least favourite players. And now he's at Everton. He could be one of my favourites again. I think he's a brilliant player in a team that lets him flourish, really. Crap cross from Burnley there. Now Salah. Terrible. What is that from Salah? Rubbish. What are your predictions for the Manchester derby? Let me know. I'll read some of them out. I've gone with a 2-2 draw. Yeah, Robertson is coming on here. And it is Kerkez coming off. What's that all about? Is that an injury or... Looks tactical to me. Harsh, but yeah. Please do subscribe to the channel, by the way. Bottom right-hand corner. Remember, we're the home of the Bundesliga now as well. We have Friday night live games on here. Tune in for that. And obviously all the Premier League watch-alongs. We've got the Champions League this week. Wednesday, Thursday. Amazing games. Chelsea go to Bayern. Liverpool play Atletico Madrid on Wednesday. And then Thursday, Newcastle, Barcelona, and Man City, Napoli. So a good opening week to the Champions League. We're excited for that. Make sure you subscribe and get involved. Everybody is welcome. And Robertson nearly scoring with his first few touches of the ball. And I think that's the problem with Kerkez. I think Vanch says the Bundesliga streams are fire. I think he wants him to get forward more, doesn't he? He did look like he might be a red card waiting to happen as well, on a yellow card already. So definitely looked tactical and not an injury. What's your opinion on Dortmund, says Side? I think they've had a very good start to the season. I mean, St. Pauli, it'll be interesting to see what they do today, because Dortmund were 3-1 up against them and they probably should have won, but obviously had a man sent off, penalty, and then conceded a late goal. If that hadn't happened, they'd have a perfect start. So I think Dortmund have looked really good. Guirassy was top scorer until Harry Kane scored another 2 last night. So they've had a good start. Ekatike does well. Good. Oh, was that a cutback or a shot? I'd like to see what he did here. It was close. Good running down the channel. Ekatike controls it. And then, yeah, I think he's trying to cross that, really. I don't think it's a shot. maybe. I wanted to say I love the weekend watch-along schedule you post at the beginning of the weekend. It's very useful, says Nate Footy. Thank you very much, pal. Temel says, I think Liverpool are going to lose this. They're looking really bad today. How many times how many times do we see this? The big team away from home, first half, don't look that great, and then a bit of a bollocking at half time, and it's a different team second half. I'd say what, Gakpo probably needs to stop cutting inside and shooting because he's getting into really good positions. I hope you'll double check, says Fred. I will double check it, but I don't think we need to. If you could take a centre midfielder from the Bundesliga, which one would you take for United, says Wanderer? Probably Kimmich still. I like Fujita at St. Pauli, but that's just very perspective at this moment. Stiller at Stuttgart, we'll be watching him on Friday. They've had a bad start to the season, Stuttgart. What's for dinner tonight, Mark? And do you prefer autumn or winter, says Josh? I've always liked autumn. I love autumn. Even as a kid, I liked autumn. I'd say my least favourite one is spring. For dinner tonight, Joshua, I think we've got gammon. A roast dinner with gammon. Bit salty, but hopefully I won't be salty tonight after the Manchester derby. What games are you covering in the week, says Oliver B? 3 minutes to go to half time. Let me have a quick look. So, yeah, Wednesday we're definitely doing 8 o'clock, Liverpool, Atletico Madrid and Bayern, Chelsea. Thursday, 8 o'clock, Man City, Napoli and Newcastle, Barcelona. Tuesday, I don't know at the moment because Arsenal are playing at 5:45. I don't like doing them at that time unless it's United. And then Spurs, Villarreal seems a bit shite, so I don't know about that. Friday night we'll be on here for the Bundesliga. Saturday, it's the Merseyside derby at 12:30, Liverpool against Everton, and then United stand Man United against Chelsea, and then Sunday it is, of course, Arsenal against Man City. So a very good week of football ahead. And then I just want to let you know, on Wednesday, the 24th of September, we will be doing a... I'm trying to find out. No, sorry, Tuesday the 23rd, we're going to do a live watch-along of... I'm trying to find it. Maybe it was Wednesday the 24th. I can't find it. I don't know when Grimsby are playing. I was going to do a live watch along of them getting beat. Do Juve versus Dortmund, please, says Don. What day's that? Tuesday. Dortmund will win that one. Told someone how I have feelings for them after knowing them a couple of years. What should I do if they say no? Now, I think I love her, says Saturday Crush. Well, mate, you can't force people to like you. As crazy as it sounds, I've had many people fall in love with me over the years. That's not the crazy bit, and I didn't go out with them because I wasn't in love with them. So, you know, it's a life lesson. Sometimes you fancy somebody and they don't fancy you. It's not meant to be. Love does a weird thing with your head where you think, I'm in love with them, they're the perfect person, but if it's not reciprocal, move on. Don't listen to that voice in your head saying, this is the only one for me. No. If they don't like you, leave them alone. You've played your cards. If she says no, move on. She ain't never going to change her mind. Unless you get in a boy band or something or get rich, she might change her mind then, but that's obviously not anything that's happening anytime soon. And you're just doing yourself out of stuff before it. Burnley, 3 minutes added on here. Burnley looked okay. Liverpool, it's one of those days for Liverpool so far. I definitely think the international break helps. Yeah, don't lose your sanity, as someone says in the chat, focusing on somebody that doesn't like you, because ultimately, what is it you're in love with if they don't feel the same? It's clearly just your brain playing tricks. Lovely play by Gravenberch. Here comes Andy Robertson. Gakpo, Robertson, cross. Oh, I tell you what. Good defending by Burnley. Verts. I think he thought Ekitike was going to be on the back post. Who's going to win the title, Marks, is Finley? I went with Arsenal in my Premier League predictions. I don't know why people... Well, you might not have watched it, to be fair, but I'm not changing my mind. I said Burnley, Sunderland and Leeds get relegated. I hope I'm wrong, but... that's sort of how I feel. Makeup Professional says, if you want to attract girls, then you need to stop showing interest. That can work. That can work. On some, they don't like it when you don't show them attention. Not all. Top scorer, I went with Gyökeres, which was risky, but he has got 3 so far, so it's not impossible. Is Virgil top 5 centre-back for you in the Premier League era, says Azjord? Yeah, probably is, yeah. Yeah, I think I've done it before. I think he is, yeah. I mean, I'd have to think it through, but I definitely think he is. Half-time here. Burnley are level with Liverpool, who really haven't been at the races. Maybe you can blame that on the international break. But we know Arne Slot's Liverpool side can be a very better side in the second half. So just having a quick look at the stats at half-time for those. I can't put it up on the screen today, actually, which is a bit of a shame. But I will read it out for you anyway. So how we're looking at the moment. Match stats. Here we go. So possession-wise, 78.5% for Liverpool. That's a hell of a lot of possession. Shots, 10 to Burnley's 2, but only 1 on target. Burnley have had none on target. So no saves made for Alisson yet. 1 save for Dubravka. Defensively, yeah, pretty equal as well. So I think there's an inevitable second goal. There's an inevitable goal coming for Liverpool at some point, and Burnley don't look like scoring. So for all the people in the chat saying, oh, Liverpool are rubbish, they're not going to do anything, ultimately 3 points are all that matter. And I don't see Burnley scoring here, and I certainly think Liverpool will find a way. So I can still see Liverpool winning this game. But Burnley have been well organised. They've been competitive. And I think, to be fair, we've had 3 up, 3 down for the last 2 years. And although I've predicted that we'll get it again, they have been good, the newly promoted teams this year so far, in the sense that they've been competitive. Leeds very unlucky at Fulham yesterday. Even Marco Silva said it. But obviously Fulham have had their own bad luck. Sunderland have won a couple of games too. So I think it's encouraging. It's encouraging. Let me just stop the clock there as well for the second half. Please do subscribe to the channel, by the way, bottom right-hand corner. We will be on United Stand for the Manchester Derby at 4 o'clock, straight after this game, basically. Sheev says that this Liverpool side ain't all that. I just talking about Liverpool for a moment. I've said this a couple of times. Have I seen every Liverpool game? I watched Bournemouth opening Friday. Definitely watched the Newcastle game and the Arsenal game. Yes, I've seen every minute of Liverpool so far and every minute of Arsenal. And I think that with regards to Liverpool, 9 points from 9 is an even better start to the season if you've actually watched them. I think against Newcastle, a late winner against 10 men. Against Arsenal, a worldie to win it. And then against Bournemouth, a 2-goal lead given up and then 2 late goals. So they've not been dominant yet. And they haven't been dominant here today. But I think there's a really good explanation for that. Liverpool have been through quite big transition. Obviously, the tragic loss of Jota is going to have impacts on and off the pitch. But also Trent going is quite a big change. And they haven't got a right back at the moment because Frimpong's injured. Trying to bed Kirkes in at left back as well is a big change. So both your fullbacks change. Diaz on the left-hand side is a very good player as well. And then they're trying to bed in Wirtz, Ekitike into the team too. So I think there's quite, even though they won the league last year, it's a very different Liverpool side. 2 different fullbacks. Trent, Diaz gone. Sorry, Trent is a fullback. Wirtz bedding in. So I think I think Liverpool will be very happy with what they've got in the knowledge that it's going to take a bit of time for some of these players to bed in. But that's a daunting prospect for the rest of the Premier League because if Liverpool keep winning despite not being at their best yet, then that becomes problematic, doesn't it? 5 a.m. says, rest in peace, Ricky Hatton, legend. Thank you very much for that lovely message. Ritesh says, as an Arsenal fan, City actually looked like champions. Liverpool rose last year because everyone else was terrible. Dead B says, it's always bloody Burnley. Thank you very much for that. Liverpool is weaker than last season. Look at their bench. If Salah and Gakpo gets injured, who replaces them? Yeah, just looking at the Liverpool bench for a moment. So you've got Bradley, Chiesa, Endo. Frimpong is back on the bench. Joe Gomez. Mardashashvili, the goalkeeper. Rio. Anyonyi and Robertson. Arsenal definitely have a better bench at the moment. Look, I've gone with Arsenal to win the league, but I think Liverpool are favourites, aren't they? Certainly. Certainly. Let me have a quick look at that. Where's Isaac? Says classic movie quotes. He's currently not on the bench. He's apparently Slot said it's about minutes. So yeah, he's not in the squad. So no no prospect of him coming on. Jay says Sky Sports not showing replays from angles that could harm Liverpool in challenge. It's a joke. And Isaac will get a sub appearance against Atleti. Liverpool's bench is better than United's first team. Yeah, it's not about United, mate. Why do you have to bring United into it? That's football. We're talking about the title race. What are you bringing Man United in? We've won the argument then, haven't we? Because if you're bringing Man United into a comparison with Liverpool, you've just lost the argument because we're talking about benches for the title. So, yeah, weird take that. Feels like a classic last season Liverpool performance. Play really bad first quarter and then storm home. Yeah, I think they'll come back in the second half. Manchester derby will be better than this, says Royston. Wow, you say that. You say that. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. Which wing-back would you like to have at United as competition? I thought Grimaldo looked bloody good for Leverkusen the other day, but he's probably a bit old, isn't he? I don't think we'll be buying one. Apparently we looked at Esteban at Brighton, but obviously he went to... where did he go? Where did Esteban go? Did he go... He went to Italy, didn't he? Bit of stick for Wirtz there. Well, you went to Milan. Yeah. Elder says, I just saw the replay, 100% a red. Well, they're only showing it in a compilation on Sky. It's not. I don't think they even got discussed, did it, at half-time? I don't know whether they actually discussed it there. I just saw it in a compilation of replays, but I don't think they touched it there. Callan says, I think United will draw today. Well, we're just sort of waiting for the team news to come out. I think it'll be out in about 15 minutes, won't it? I think from a United point of view, obviously Man City have got a few injuries. Alt-Nouri, Marmoush are out. There's concerns over Stones and as well. We'll see what they do. But I think from a United point of view, we know it's going to be Binder in goal. We know Cunha and Mount and Dalot are out. So hopefully Mazraoui will come back in. I want to see Šeško starting. I'd like to see Bruno as a 10, but I think he'll be in the midfield with Casemiro. Williams says, why did Kirkes come off? I think it was tactical. I think it was tactical because he didn't look injured. He was on a yellow card. He looked like his head wasn't in the game, really. And I think Slot's just gone and said, you know, Robertson's reliable. I can make the sub. Why take the risk? I think that's what it was all about, because he did look like he might get the second yellow card at any point. And I don't know, I didn't watch him loads at Bournemouth. Obviously, he was very good at Bournemouth last season, but in a Liverpool shirt, he does look quite reckless. And yeah, as Roland said, he was looking like a walking red card. And obviously, with Michael Oliver, the referee, you might want to make the sub, so it could be an intelligent move. And to be fair, Andy Robertson came on and nearly scored, so yeah. What's your opinion on Binder this season? Says Side. Shit. If Man City get corners, I'm terrified. Yeah. Cabal says this game is screaming for a Mo Salah scrappy goal after not doing anything for 80 minutes. Liverpool haven't clicked yet, says T-Man. What do you think about Scott Parker as a coach, says Levia? I think he's a good championship coach. He said, look. At the end of the day, Vincent Kompany. Vincent Kompany is... don't do that, Vincent. Vincent Kompany was shite at Burnley in the Premier League. He's now managing Bayern Munich. So Scott Parker, with a better job, might be a decent coach. But I think it's difficult when you're coming into the Premier League with two arms tied behind your back. So yeah. Do I think Burnley will stay up? Says PG. I'm getting. I mean, I wouldn't want to be quoted on this yet, but I am getting a feeling that the newly promoted teams look competitive. So hopefully we won't see what we've seen for the last couple of years, where the bottom three are relegated straight away. We are starting to see, you know, they are competitive. The big problem you've got if you're Burnley or Leeds or Sunderland is that you've got to get to 40 points, really. And that, when you look at the newly promoted teams for the last 2 years, they've not been anywhere near that. So we haven't seen a newly promoted team get anywhere near the points required for a very long time. And whilst being competitive is a step forward, you've still got to get the points, haven't you? And I think that's going to be difficult. Burnley's a club I would love to see relegated to MMF. I mean, that was more of the Dyche era, if I'm being completely honest. Yeah. I've got to change the shirts at the back. That's why I'm getting up for a moment. We're going United. This, everyone always says to me, what's my favourite Man United kit? This. You might look at it now and go, it's horrible, but at the time, I love it. I absolutely love it. But I just loved it. I was about, how old would I have been when that came out? Probably 11 or 12. And I just loved it. Considering kits were quite boring in those days, yeah, I just loved that kit. And this is the new away kit, which is nice, you know. Nice. No name on the back. I mean, that's basically a tribute act to the sharp view cam one that Cantona got kicked off in '95, wasn't it? Michael Oliver has rightly issued a yellow card to a Liverpool player for cheating. It will be interesting to see that Liverpool fans' view. Here's Pep. You know what? If Man City lose today, then they're definitely going to lose at Arsenal next week, and that would be 4 out of 5. They've got Phil Foden on the screen. I guarantee Phil Foden will start today. It's about time he bloody turned up. I don't want him to turn up, but I'm just saying you can just see it, can't you? Did you get that Cantona shirt shopping with Ellis, Mark? No, he gave me a different shirt, which I've got upstairs, but no, I got that for myself. It's raining in Manchester. I think it's raining in the whole UK today, to be fair. Are you going to be stood up for the game? Yeah, that's why I've not stood up for this one. Connor Bradley's coming on here. Slot don't mess about, does he? I did wonder why they didn't put Connor Bradley in at right back when Frimpong got injured in the first place, really. Szoboszlai's done a good job there, though, hasn't he? Is McAllister's another failure of VAR, says Rajaf? Well, only 57% said it was a red card when we did a poll at the time. I think, if I'm being completely fair, I think the right decision was made because I don't want to see a red card that early anyway. But if it was a red card, it has to be a red card. I've looked at it a few times, and to be fair, they haven't really showed the replays of it that much. I looked at it a few times. I think if he'd have given a red card, you couldn't complain. And if he doesn't give a red card, you can't complain. It's one of those borderline ones for me. So, you know, I think if you're a Liverpool fan, you've got every right to be frustrated. And if you're not, I think you've got every right to say, I don't think it was a red. I don't know who Connor Bradley's coming on for here because Szoboszlai's still on the pitch. So I presume it might be McAllister, who, if he's got the... Oh, Connor Bradley's been injured as well, says JD. Yeah, McAllister's gone off. So that's. I mean, talk about that red card decision. That obviously is a big concern for Liverpool because whether it was a red card or not, McAllister's ended up with the problem because of that. Because you'd never be taking him off. Thoughts on Kevin from Fulham? Hope you're well, says CF26. Who's Kevin from Fulham? Think Liverpool have been paying so much for Wirtz. Seems to be struggling with the pace, says Stephen. Look, Wirtz might flop, and he might not. I think that's probably a fair thing to say. He might flop, and he might not. But it's way, way too early to be saying that he is going to flop. I think that's my point. And I think people are desperate these days for people to flop when I think it's just too early to say. He's a new player who came on and played well for Fulham yesterday. I haven't watched a lot of the highlights, Ben, to be fair. I expect Liverpool to get better in the second half and win this game. We've seen the movie many times before. Do you think Forest will have a good turnaround under Ange? Look, he lost 22 games in the Premier League last year with Spurs, and they had a brilliant squad. So, corner to Liverpool here. They had a very good squad at Spurs, and he couldn't get them playing, and I think that was systematic. So, CF26 says, who's Mark Goldbridge? People called Gravenberch a flop in his first season. Yes, they did, Elder. Carl Walker needed to be careful there. That could have been a penalty. They've got to keep these corners away from Dubravka because he's Dubravka. Oh, God. Volley fry Gravenberch, and it's over the bar. It looked like it got a bit of a deflection, to be fair. Let's have a look at this. It bounces. It's bouncing around the box. Comes to Gravenberch. And really, how that drops, you'd be thinking goal. Yeah, it's a corner. How did I see that? And even Gravenberch and the referee didn't see it. I knew that deflected. Peter Brown says, will VAR decide this game? Answers on a postcard. Almost did the Zubimendi. Oh, header wide from Connor Bradley there. Liverpool already looking a different team in the first 3 minutes. Daunting. I don't like using the word daunting because it makes me feel like I'm going dawn. It's a daunting, like the name Dawn and then ting instead of thing. Daunting. Another corner here for Liverpool. Is Lissandro going to start for Man United? Are you drunk, King Chris? Bloody hell. There you go. Corner right on Dubravka again. Manages to punch it. Are you rooting for someone to ETL? I mean, look, Burnley. I would love Burnley to win, but I'm a realist. They're not doing any attacking, so I'm sort of looking at a draw. Aaron says, are Liverpool just going through the motions? It appears they lack some spark. I think... apparently on Twitter they're saying that Martinez is with the squad. I mean, that would be very unlike Man United to bring him back 4 weeks early. But, you know, hopefully it's true. My case is I can't ever use the word daunting now. I can't. I don't like using the word because it makes me think of daunting. It's a daunting. It's like, you know, I feel like Ricky Gervais, David Brent, Dawn on The Office. Hello, it's a daunting, you know. Ring-a-ding-ding, it's a daunting. It is cretinous, definitely cretinous, but it just drops into my head. United team will be out very shortly. I just had a message coming in here. So Martinez, Cunha, and Mount are with the squad. Doesn't mean they're in the squad. Yeah, well, exactly. They're not going to be in the squad, are they? They've probably just turned up with the team. It's just clickbait, isn't it? I don't think Martinez is due back until after the next international break, so I'd be absolutely stunned if he's in the matchday squad. I mean, look, you never know, but come on, Burnley, have an attack. Frederick says his favourite type of dessert is a tiramisu. I had, last night at the pub, I had white chocolate cheesecake with toffee ice cream, and it was lovely. Here's Liverpool Bradley. Oh, get him off his right foot. Cleared away. V says, love from Indonesia. Yeah, let us know where you're watching from. Thank you very much for tuning in. It's a good cross by Robertson. Just over Ekatike's head. I think he'd given a free kick for a push on the Burnley defender. In fact, he had. Let's win today. Manchester is red and always will be red. Also, you've been one of the reasons I haven't ended it all. Well, bloody hell, Tan. That's a very, very big comment. But and I don't think anybody would want to be the reason why you haven't. But if there is any truth in that, then obviously you are a testament to the fact that it's really important that if you are feeling down and stuff, you embrace things that make you feel worthwhile. Conversations, communities, etc. I've got to do this one as well. Oh, God, nearly got through there. Burnley player. It's a bit wide, that, isn't it? Should be an interior designer. Yeah, that's better. Lots nice messages for Tane there. This definitely won't finish 0-0. So if Burnley can't score, they're going to lose. Lovely play by Wirtz. Just wide. Mo Salah's quiet today, so Sadiq. I mean, there's many. Man United team is out. I think Seshko starts. So let me just go through the Man United side for you. Good play by Wirtz. I mean, that's a common theme with Salah, isn't it, these days? Binder in goal, Mazraoui, De Ligt, Dorgu, Yoro, Shaw as the back five, Bruno and Ugarte in the midfield, and then Ahmad and Mbeumo with Seshko there. So Ugarte in the midfield. Mainu's on the bench with Casemiro, Maguire, Leon, Xerxes, Heaven, Fredrickson, Lamons and Heaton. 2 goalkeepers on the fucking bench. You don't have to have 2 goalkeepers on the bench in the Premier League, do you? I just don't understand why you put 2 goalkeepers on the bench. I've never understood it. Like, just put, like, you know... Use another outfield player. What's the chance that you're going to sub your goalkeeper and then sub him again, basically? I don't get it. I suppose Ugarte starting is a bit of a shock. Isak's not in the squad, Delug, because of lack of minutes. Assad says, what's the best kit this season? Arsenal away. No, Man United's third kit, definitely. I'm biased, but I like it. Having 2 goalkeepers on the bench is pointless and a waste of a spot for another promising player who could change a game, says Tom. I'm glad it's not just me. I mean, you know, we were talking about irrational pet hates in football. Ekatike. Sabozlai blocked. Still Ekatike cleared. That is an irrational pet hate. I just do not understand why you put 2 goalkeepers on the bench. When I play FIFA, I don't put 1 on. I don't know whether in an FC 26 whether you have to, but I don't put a goalkeeper on my bench. I'd rather do a whole, you know, Vinnie Jones or John O'Shea if I need to. What's the City lineup? Oh, what a shot. Good save keeper. I mean, you'd expect him to make it, but it's Sabozlai from distance again. Let's have a look at this. Yeah, straight down his throat, really, but he saves it. Let me get you the Man City lineup for you. I'm glad Sesko's starting. That's a real positive for me. And I want Agate to do well, too. So, and Sue. Donnarumma in goal. Kushanov, Diaz, Vardiel's back, O'Reilly, Rodri, Bernardo Silva, Reinders, Foden, Dorku, and Haaland. Straight down the middle of that, really, from Sabozlai. Yeah, no Martinez on the bench anyway. Well, Liverpool knocking on the door here. Could do with a bloody Burnley goal because they're not going to keep a clean sheet. Might be scrappy, but Liverpool will find a way here. If Burnley want to get anything from this, they're going to have to score a goal. What's the Prabka and Kyle Walker doing here? He's giving a corner. Yeah, I think the Agate starting for Man United could be a massive thing. If it goes well, it will be tactical genius, really. Why do you think it's rarer in football to have hybrid type players that can play anywhere in the team? For example, a goalkeeper that can play centre back. Because it's such high level and it's such high, fine margins that you end up with specialists, don't you? Why can't Van Dijk play in the midfield but be the best centre back in the world? Because it gets to a point where you have to specialise. Kaylin says you've been sat too long, you need to stretch your legs. I was literally just up a minute ago changing my shirts. And actually, that reminds me, you shouldn't throw your clothes on the floor. I need to fold these up. That Leverkusen away kit's nice. I don't think it's Bayern Munich's nicest kit, to be fair. Another chance for Liverpool here. It's going to be another corner, isn't it? Verts again. Yeah, well blocked. Yeah, I'm excited about the Manchester derby. Yeah. But you just don't know. I've never watched The Detectorists. Loads of people have said to me to watch it. I haven't watched it. Lots of people still asking why is Isak not playing. Ask Arne Slot. I think it's just lack of minutes, lack of a pre-season, really. I mean, they could have had him on the bench for the last 10 minutes, but obviously he doesn't even feel he's up to that. Is it a comedy, The Detectorists, or is it a drama? I might watch an episode tonight, you know. How's the game looking, Mark, says Joseph. It's looking like a game to me where Burnley are going to put loads and loads of work in, and at some point Liverpool will score a goal and that'll be the end of the game. Marcus Laird says beating Burnley isn't for everyone. I mean, look, Liverpool definitely haven't created many chances, but you could give a multiple of excuses for that. I think the international break does kill the momentum. Did you watch that film about Mainu? Well, it wasn't about Mainu. It was just a film that Mainu did a screenshot from. But here's Conor Bradley into Salah. It's a terrible cross again. Goes for a goal kick. It was a good film. I can't remember the bloody name of it now. Whiplash, that was it. It's good. Intense, but I liked it. It's what United need to be today, intense. Angus says United are going to get cooked today. Well, you can watch the watch-along on the United stand. We'll be there from 4. Cunha and Mount out and our bench looks crap again, says Stephen Willocks. Cozy Platt says, if City lose today, it'll be their worst start to the season in 21 years. I thought it already was their worst start in 21 years because they haven't had a season. They haven't lost 2 out of the first 3 since 04-05, have they? I'm sure I read that. What do you think about Newcastle yesterday? Well, Lewis, I think Newcastle's problem in the first 3 games was they didn't have a striker. Yesterday they win 1-0 because they do. So I expect Newcastle to start improving now because everything else about their team is good. Why does Dubravka never bloody catch it? Punching it again. Any trepidation or would that offend? Says Gaz Wilson. What about the game today? No. I remember Ten Hag used to bench 2 goalkeepers as well. It's really weird. Need to bring that Rio on, says Callan. I mean, if we're being completely honest, Burnley have been shit, haven't they? I mean, I know they defended admirably, but as an attacking side, they've been absolute dog shit. I mean, this is anti-football in a sense. It's literally, let's just try and get a draw. And look, maybe that's the way you stay up. Because Szoboszlai with another shot there. The goal, I think the goal is inevitable here. But like many, I think I did expect Liverpool to... Why has he not passed that quicker? He has now. Go on then. How do you fancy it? Get it out your feet. Oh, for fuck's sake. That Anthony's shit. Don't give him the ball. He's going to lose it again. Watch. I told you. He's fucking rubbish. Where did they get this Anthony from? He's crap. Every time he gets it, he messes it up. Now it's Liverpool. Maybe he's just nervous. Vanch says, I'd be shocked if this ends in a draw. Oh, mate, I think we've all seen it before. Maybe it's because Hatton is in the leadership group, says Envim. Hopefully the Manchester derby isn't a snooze fest as well, says Tom. I tell you what, this international break's got a lot to answer for as well. It just kills momentum, and it's going to take everyone a week or so to get back now. Brentford played the same against Chelsea. No. Shut up. I mean, looking at the stats in this game, Burnley have had 2 shots all game and none on target. 2 shots all game and none on target. Brentford had 7 shots and 4 on target. So Brentford didn't play exactly the same. And also Brentford had 35% possession. I think Burnley have had about 2. So don't tar Brentford with that Burnley brush. Because it ain't fair. Do you think Man United will get smashed today? Look, anything can happen. You never know with United. I hope not. I feel like we'll get a result. I've gone with a draw. I feel we'll get a result. I mean, to win at the Etihad, we've done it many times, would be amazing. But a draw's not a terrible result for us. It's a big game for Agate. I think that selection's really interesting. Watch the movie The Gentleman. I've seen it, Parker. It's good. Is that the one with Matthew McConaughey in it and Hugh Grant? I thought the series was quite good as well. Back post, Salah. Still 20 minutes to go here. I just can't believe Aston Villa haven't scored a goal in four games. You know, I was saying this yesterday. You're a Villa fan. You've had all summer. You're excited for football. You've got no signings. They've had a shite transfer window. And then you don't score in your first 4 games. I mean, you're just not getting any satisfaction, are you? You're like Mick Jagger. Last 5 minutes, Burnley have had 7% possession. Welcome to the Premier League. Chiesa's coming on. Ekatike's going off. I always have sympathy for strikers in games like this, though. You know, part of the bus team, playing on the edge of their penalty box, no space to run into, not a lot going on. I watched the film last night, but I fell asleep. It was quite good, but I just fell asleep. Margin call with... Well, it's about a financial crisis, actually. It might not be for everyone. Need to watch the last half hour. Go! Nearly. Chiesa with his first touch. Skimmed off his head. Robertson. Perfect header. Centre-back can't get near it. Yeah, to be fair, Chiesa is just not aware where the goal is he? JD says Ekitike scores that. He probably doesn't because the cross is probably too high for Ekitike. Too low for Ekitike because he's taller. Form says, I absolutely love margin call. So I can't believe I hadn't seen it because it's 2011, isn't it? United turn up for these games either way for me, says Nick. Thank you, Nick. Hope you're doing well. Yeah, Donnarumma's in goal for City. What the fuck is he doing there? Offside anyway. Moneyball's a very good film, RNG, yeah. Tom Hazelden, thank you very much for joining the members club and getting your badge in. Appreciate that. Tanishka says Villa needs to do a Spurs like last season and focus on the Europa League and other cups to salvage their season. Also, Rodgers' form has fallen off. It was very good for England though, wasn't he? Maybe he's a bit unsettled that he wanted to move. Look, to be honest with you, any Spurs fan's going to agree with us, United fans here. The quality in the Europa League will be not good enough. So if you are Forest or Villa, if you focus on that tournament, you've got a great chance of getting to the final, getting into the Champions League and winning a trophy. The Europa League was a blessing in disguise for us last year, and obviously it was an even more of a blessing in disguise for Spurs because they actually took advantage of it. Szoboszlai with a shot just wide there on his left. Yeah, looking at the teams that are in the Europa League, I'm not saying that they wouldn't be able to knock Forest or Villa out, but because the Champions League's so big now, all the decent teams from the other leagues end up in the Champions League. So there's not that much competition and they can't drop down anymore. So I'd be very surprised if an English club's not in the final again. Maybe both. Impossible! Irreversible is apparently a film I need to watch. It's a bit old. My daughter was watching that Weapons film last night. It's a horror though, isn't it? I won't be interested in that. There's a Burnley player injured here. I didn't see it. Probably won't show us the replay again. Should be a red, says Dave. Well, again, I'm waiting for the replay. Becky says, even my husband Gary is now asleep. Get Rio on. Tom says, what did you think of Romero's disallowed goal yesterday, Mark? Oh, Tom has given a £10 super chat for this, and I have to admit, Tom, I didn't see it. And I feel really bad, so I want to say it's a disgrace. You know, typical bad officiating again, but I haven't seen it. Why are we not getting replays anymore of tackles? There we go. Nah, it's not as bad as the one in the first half. Never read that. If it's not a red in the first half, it's not going to be a red in the second half. No way. Nadim says, what's your favourite porn category? Yeah, I'm not going to be talking about that, mate. I don't even know what you're talking about either. World Padlock says, a month until my baby's due, mate. Oh, congratulations. I bet you're very excited. Be nice that as well, because October baby, you have the first few weeks to get used to it all, and then by Christmas, you know, you're settled. Talking about, I mean, I know babies aren't the same as a puppy, but I was talking to someone last week who said they got a puppy on Christmas Eve, and I said, what an idiot. And they were like, yeah. And what I meant was, like, when you bring a puppy home, they're very rarely trained, so they'll shit and piss everywhere, and they normally moan for the first few nights. You don't want that on Christmas Eve. Good cross the back post. This could be it for Liverpool. No, he's miscontrolled that. Get it out, Burnley. Get it out. Just boot it away. 10 minutes to go. Temptation, the City fan, says, hear me out. Donnarumma cannot play out from the back. Are we going to see a different style of play from Pep? You're not the first person to say that. Somebody said it yesterday. Well, maybe Pep's going to just go for the full house. You know, he's never rebuilt a team. And he's going to change his style of football as well. Another corner for Liverpool. 18,000 watching. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, by the way. Bottom right-hand corner. Some big Champions League game watch-alongs coming up this week. Wednesday night's brilliant. Liverpool, Atletico Madrid and Bayern Munich, Chelsea. So we get the Bundesliga Premier League clash early. And obviously, Thursday night, we've got Newcastle, Barcelona and Man City and Napoli. And then Friday night, we are the home of Bundesliga. We've got live match coverage on Friday night on the Bundesliga. So hopefully this is not going to be another 0-0. Well, actually, I do want a 0-0. That's a good result for Burnley, isn't it? But we've had a bad weekend, haven't we, really? How many 0-0s were there yesterday? 2. Late Fulham own goal. Saved us from 3. I just think it's the international break. Sue says, have you realised you've got grey hair? No, mate. I just look in the mirror about 10 times a day and I've never really noticed that. Thank you for reminding me. India cricket match clashing with the Derby, says Van. She can listen to 2 things at the same time. If United win, Liverpool draw, United are 3 points off the top. There's a lot of things to happen there, Niki. Nick P says, I've discovered the horror of Irish adverts on my dodgy Sky channel. 2 in particular about drunk driving and dealing with a stroke are proper morbid. I don't know why I laughed. I remember when I was growing up, we used to get quite bad public service announcement adverts. You don't really see them anymore. There was one where this kid threw his frisbee into an electric service station and he goes to get it back and he ends up like a fried egg. You don't see that, but you just hear it. They used to do some right harsh drink driving ones as well. Crossing the road one, yeah. Green cross code, man. I don't even know what the green cross code was. It's one of the things that you used to say, but never knew what it was. How do you like your eggs? I like a poached egg. And I like a boiled egg. I like scrambled eggs. I like an omelette. I do like a fried egg. I don't think there's any... I don't like cold boiled eggs. That's where I draw the line. Yeah. Anything warm. Smoking ones, yeah. They were horrible. I remember they showed the lung and they squeezed out all the fat. Ugh. Egg mayonnaise just makes me want to throw up, Stephen, to be honest. Someone at our school used to come with egg mayonnaise sandwiches. Oh, God, get out. You should be expelled. Expelled! That was brilliant! That was actually accidentally brilliant. If only I'd realised that how brilliant that was and played it cool, that would have been superb. It was accidentally brilliant. Liverpool goal bingo for me, 87 minutes, says Harry. Is the missus into football? She is now. Well, she always was slightly into it, but Frimpong's coming on and Rio's coming on. She watches a lot of women's football on a Sunday. But they'll watch the Manchester derby, yeah. Yeah, I think Liverpool will score. I said it at half-time. It's one of those, if you're Arsenal or City or Chelsea or anybody who wants to be in the title race, you're begging that Burnley hold on. But we've all seen the movie before. He's going to send him off. Red card. Burnley. Ugo Chukwu. Maybe he should have been sent off in the first half. He's going to get a second yellow here. You're off, mate. There's no appeal. It's a second yellow. You can't VAR it, so you're gone. Let's have a look. Well, yeah, it's a second yellow. You can't argue with that. It's silly. Don't know what his complaint can be. That's absolutely a yellow card. I mean, what's he moaning about? Well, mate, you can shake your head. It was a. Well, his name's Leslie. Well, it was a lazy tackle. Leslie, lazy. It was a silly tackle to do because, one, it's a dangerous position. And two, you're on a bloody yellow card with 10 minutes to go. Let his team down there, says King Chris. He did. He definitely did. How dumb can you be? Stupid tackle, says Gur. Lazy Leslie. That's what I was trying to get at. You shouldn't be sliding in. I mean, there's a little bit of tactical advice. You don't slide in centre of the pitch on the edge of your own box. It's silly. Stay on your bloody feet. Thoughts on the United lineup, Mark, says Dale. I'm literally going to be live in about 15 minutes on the United stand, so I will have a conversation about that with you shortly. But yeah, reasonably happily. Somebody said Liverpool goal bingo, 87 minutes. 86 might be a good shout. Eight seconds to go to the 86th minute. Salah and Szoboszlai. Yeah, he got sent off for a second yellow. It wasn't a straight red over the bar with the free kick. This will be a bet killer, this one. What do they call it when people have an accumulator? A lot of people would have put Liverpool in just to top the odds up a little bit. I used to do it years ago. I used to love doing accumulator bets. And you would always get greedy with one just to top the odds up. Coupon buster, that's it, Nathan, yeah. Kanate off, Frimpong on. Rio on, and I didn't see who came off for that. Verts. Could be 10 minutes added on here. If there's 10 minutes added on, I'm desperate for the toilet, so I'm not going to end the stream. I'll just quickly go and leave it running, and then I can come back. Goals never get scored when you go to the toilet, I always find. So that'll be good. Shall I go for a poo? Because I'll be 10 minutes then, and Burnley will definitely get a draw. Draws when you... I hate going for a draw. When I used to do bets, I could never bet on a draw because a draw is really difficult to predict. Although I am predicting a draw in the Manchester derby. This Liverpool chance is going to come, isn't it? You know it's going to come. Salah. That's going to go for a goal kick. Burnley definitely haven't done anything to win this game. They're going to make a sub here. I recognise him. Broha. Is it Broha? Yeah. It is Broha. I don't even need to see the name. Any decent wins on the accumulators, Mark, says Taylor. I had one years ago where I had like I think I had a £10 bet and won about 360 quid. Tanishk says, calling Wirtz the German Ross Barkley is an insult to Barkley. Maybe a German Tom Huddleston. A draw for Burnley is a win. Oh, of course it is, Jacob, yeah. Vanch says, it's a shit weekend so far. Only United winning can save it. Oh, in the context of a title race, by the way, this, and I'm only starting to talk about this now because we're approaching the 90th minute, and I still think Liverpool will score. But in the process of a title race, drawing to Burnley 0-0 is 2 points dropped. If this was Arsenal, it'd be Arteta out, you know. So this is, you know, let's not do it up anyway. If Burnley get a point against Liverpool, it's 2 points drop for Liverpool, big time. And you know, from Arsenal's point of view, 9 points from 12. Liverpool would have 10 points from 12, and they beat Arsenal. So, you know, it'd be a great weekend for Arsenal. Hal says, PGMR League is off the hook. Bradley had a red card challenge on Anthony. Argue otherwise. Yeah, but... Lovely feet by that Rio there, but they clear it away. Ronaldo-esque feet, really. Burnley could have had a man sent off in 15 minutes, so... Salah cleared away. Only 5 minutes added on. I won't go and take a piss. I'll wait. Only 5 minutes added on. I definitely thought there'd be 10. There's been stoppages. There's been substitutions. Maybe Michael Oliver wants to get ready for have a quick shower. Shower, shit and shave before the Manchester derby so he can watch his mate Taylor. Wirtz goal 90+7. He'll do well. He's not even on the pitch. Frimpong. Cross. Could Burnley get a goal, Mark? You'd have to tell them where it is, first of all. I don't think Burnley know even what that thing at the other end is. They probably think Alisson's an imposter. What's he doing on the pitch? I mean, Alisson... I mean, we never think about the goalkeeper, do we? We never think about the goalkeeper. Alisson must be bored off his tits. Do you ever think about the goalkeeper at the other end who, in a game like this? Like, he's doing nothing, is he? He's doing absolutely nothing. You're just trying to keep yourself warm. $20,000 tuning in. Thanks, everyone. Make sure you subscribe. Bottom right-hand corner. We're on the road to 422,000. Alisson's got the best seat in the stadium. He could be doing a live. You know, I think when you're in that position, it'd be great marketing if they gave him a phone and he went live on Liverpool Twitter or TikTok. Just answered questions and he could show the view of the game. Oh, here we go. Frimpong. Oh, straight at the keeper. Good save, but it was straight at him. I thought that was going to be it. Cassius says $500 million spent and they can't beat Burnley. Well, mate, hold your horses. Yeah, I'm ready for the Manchester derby. Big time. Join us over there. I'm just going to have a quick slash and then I'll be live. 2 minutes to go. Frimpong. Oh, he's giving it. Oh my Christ. Oh my Christ. Talk about Liverpool. I can't speak. That is incredible. Ex-Man United player Maybury. What is he doing? What an idiot. You can't say anything other than it's a penalty. What a fucking idiot. Turning your back on a cross. What an absolute pillock. You can't buy brains. It's lucky. It's very lucky for Liverpool. It's not Liverpool because there's no contest about that being a penalty. Absolutely none at all. It's 100% a penalty. Imagine what Arsenal fans are doing now. They'll be going, I can't fucking believe it. And this is why it's going to be very difficult to dislodge Liverpool from winning the league because that is a get out of jail card. 100%. But you've got to say, you know, that's just football IQ to not turn your back. Great penalty by Salah. 1-0. Game over. Simple as that. Right, I'll let it run. I'm just going to go and have a piss. I'll be back. I was just thinking about it then, you know, you just... It's the second penalty I've seen like that this season in the Premier League already. And you just can't turn your back. You just can't turn your back on in that situation. It's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Shit show says Vanch, can't believe it. All Liverpool wins have been last minute, says Parker. Bloody Burnley, says Tom. Big win for Liverpool, that. 12 from 12. ominous. They look very, very ominous, Liverpool, don't they? You know, they're 4 from 4. They're not even playing that well at the moment. So, but if I'm the manager, I'm saying, what are you doing? Why are you turning your fucking back on a cross? Don't do it. Don't do it. So it is a penalty. It's 100% a penalty. He's turned his back and his arm's out. You can't do that. He's literally using his arm to protect himself. You can't do it. Stupid. Anyway, let's get over to the United stand. I'm going to be live with you in 60 seconds. I've just literally got to change a few things and I'll be live there. So I'll see you over there for the Manchester derby.